Griffin the Griffin by BlackWing. Chapter 78. Back to Work. I awoke in a cold sweat, the memory of a dark dream fading as the soft light of the setting sun entered my room through the windows. Just what the hell did Celestia do to me the other day? She went all goth chick and suddenly I'm having nightmares that I can't remember. I wanted to sleep till tomorrow morning so my internal clock would get a reset. Now I've got to go run around and get tired again. Scratch that, I'll just wait for Gilda to come to bed. She's been awfully needy in that department lately. Still, I should at least go for a walk and get the blood moving again. Nothing would be more embarrassing than passing out from lack of blood during the act. As I walked around the ship for a bit, I passed by the much unused training room and archery range. Since we just do it in open air and on top deck, so we get more realistic conditions. There's no need for the room, and while it had all the equipment, we never used it, other than growl on occasion for quiet practice. We'd probably be using it more often for unicorn training, once I went through the new recruits. Might as well work out a bit. I walked into the room, spotting Aoi and Yubi. Gah, I'll never remember it. Anyway, they were standing on opposite sides of the room. There was a splintered arrow on the ground, and the wolf was sheathing his sword. Doesn't take a genius to figure out that one. It's also pretty impressive. Of course, the shoot an arrow at me so I can stop it test. He had to do that one. Hey guys, I'm up. You haven't been properly introduced to the crew yet, and I have some newbies to scare the life out of, so should we get going? Aoi gives a low sigh. Why not? I smile and nod, and then head back up onto the deck. I come across a PA box along the way and use it to signal everyone to get topside for the show. Upon arrival, there were a number of unicorns, some Pegasi, and even an earth pony, all waiting with the biggest grins ever plastered on their faces. Wait, Pegasi and earth ponies? I specifically asked for one simple order. On seeing me, the crowd of newbies cheered, and it took me a bit to hush them. And by a bit, I mean yelling. I took a moment to catch my breath, something I learned helps when speaking in front of crowds, then began. Okay, so you're all here. We may as well get introductions out of the way. As you all no doubt know, I'm Griffin the Griffin. I know, ironic name. My full name is Captain Griffin of the North Sky, Dragonbane, Hateseed, Cursed Bird, Smooth Criminal, Silvertongue, and I forget the rest of the honorifics. You might hear the rest of the crew call me Chief, because I'm the chief of their tribe, or Dumbass, because I can be a bit of an idiot sometimes. You can call me Captain. Whew, long-winded much? This is Gilda. She's been with me the longest, so she's second in command. I motion to my mate, rubbing against me. Trixie, formerly known as the Great and Powerful, is in the medical ring right now, recovering from being shot through the chest. Although I hope we'll be able to avoid those kind of accidents with you lot. She'll be in charge of your magic training once she gets out. Till then, that's me. They gulped. Yep, total noobs. We'll just have to change that. Then there's Etch and Growl. And yes, they are diamond dogs. They are part of this crew and act as informants and spies. They're my intel team and they're very resourceful. Then there's Nadine, the field medic. She's a kitty cat and likes hugs, but is also our medic on the field. You get sick, you go to her. Maria is the chef, and yes, we do have vegetarian meals. Don't piss her off though, or you'll wind up in the soup. The crowd gave a nervous laugh, not entirely sure if I was serious. Then there's Shimmer the dragon, Gearman, Cable, and Furnace Freud, although they spend most of their time in the forge or in the medical bay, and they're currently operating on Trixie, and Steelhorn. Although actually not part of the crew, he owns this lovely ship, the Possibility. I captain the crew, and he captains the ship, although he listens to me since I bought him off. He's the big blue Minotaur with a kilt. You can't miss him. I waited for a moment for all the info to sink in and take a breath, then continued. Finally, we have Tyrus, the cat up on the big gun over there, and he's the former chief of the cat tribe. He's a good leader and will be training you in maneuvers once your skills are up to par. As for areas, you can go anywhere this deck and below, except private quarters that are already owned, and the forge, which is restricted to those who know what they're doing. There are ladders leading up to the top area, which is housed within the balloon. That area has the bridge, engineering, and other stuff. That place is strictly off limits. If I find you up there without permission, I'll toss you overboard. Got it? They gave a nervous gulp again. I'm clearly intimidating, and that should be enough to keep them in line. Alright, so that's us, and we'll give a tour in a bit. There are signs directing to the different areas, so no getting lost. We also have some guests on board. Howie? The swordsman was standing there alone, probably having sent Yo? Or was it Yubi? Damn it. He sent whoever the hell it was off to check on the other one. He seemed lost in thought until I mentioned his name, catching his attention. He walked up next to me and gazed out over the nervous crowd. He gave a grin, which of course showed off his teeth and made them shudder. Oh, come on. We're not that scary, are we? I attempted to lighten the mood. This isn't going well. Howie leans in towards me. I hope you don't expect a speech, he whispers. I whisper back. You could at least give them your name, nice and loud. Maybe your companions' names too? He sighs and then looks back at the crowd. I'm Howie, and the other two diamond dogs you may have seen with me are Yubi and Yule, my brothers. Then he's done. Well, that was fast. See? Was that so hard? I asked rhetorically. He glares at me before stepping backwards a bit. Alright, now, I know you all have some questions, and I have some too, so form a neat and orderly jumble, and throw your hooves up if you have a question. I'll get to you one at a time. Did you really save Prince Blueblood? Yes. Did you really kill a dragon? 9. Are you friends with the princesses? Aha, this one I was going to have some fun with. I adjust a non-existent tie and speak in a refined tone. But of course, when one is a dashing rogue, what else can you expect? A couple of mares in the crowd swoon. Jeez, these ponies. Okay, any questions other than my political connections and my achievements? Sudden silence. Please don't tell me you all joined me because you're my fan club. Several coughs. Oh, just fucking great. Ooh, Aoi has a question. Yes, Aoi? What are your plans next? Good question! About time I got one. We're heading to Gem Fido to raid some Diamond Dog Warrens and their supply ships. We'll get some wealth, free some slaves, maybe even acquire some more airships, and then send what we have to various locations. Gems will go to Mr. Silver in Ponyville, our exclusive buyer. Ships and freed slaves will stop off in Canterlot before heading out to Signal Island, and anyone with skill will join us on the possibility. I looked around. The new members even more nervous about going into combat. Morons! What did you expect you'd be doing on a pirate ship? Taking a pleasure cruise? Our target is masonry, a fairly large hold, and I intend to weaken them by cutting off their supply, strengthening us at the same time till we can raid the Warren itself. Like ancient Rome, Howie points out. Hopefully we can harass them enough to draw them out, so we can fight them on our terms. We are exceptionally skilled at defensive combat, so we employ hit-and-run tactics in order to draw the enemy into an ambush. And if they try to escape from underground. Aha, so the wolf is a strategist too. You know, I may suck at chess, but I was damn amazing at the Age of Empires games. Not StarCraft, because I'm not Korean. What? It's not racist, it's a perfectly acceptable and in many cases accurate stereotype. If they try to escape, we'll be forced to leave the majority of the slaves and valuables behind as they dig through the earth, and we can still plunder the city. Although, since we're an airborne force, we won't have too much trouble tracking them. They may live underground, but they still breathe air, and it's just like being underwater. They have to come out to breathe sometime. When they do, we'll spot them from above. And where do we come in? The Soul Earth Pony, an Earth Green Stallion, asked. Ah, that's the question, isn't it? We have a fair number of armed forces, but what we need is coordination between them and rear support. As it's the unicorn instantly and secretly with the others, in order to allow for better infield command. as well as casting support spells, medical aid, and any other role your unique talent might fill. The thing about you unicorns is that there's a vast number of focuses for spells, and that variety is what we need. Now, since you all passed the interview with the crew, I assume you all have some talent we can use. I'll go over it later with my own interview to see how I can use you the best. Now they were somewhat relieved that they would likely see combat, but not participate in it as actively. Pretty much, they weren't frontliners, and that put them at ease. As for the actual fighting, that will be left up to us. I motioned to the battle-hardened cats, until you can get some experience and training, which we'll do as we travel. Unicorns, Trixie will be your commanding officer when she gets out of the hospital, but for the meantime, I'll be explaining how things work around here and how we use magic, despite not being unicorns. So, without further delay, let's start the tour. Over here we have the mess hall, although you can eat whatever you want as long as you don't make a mess. And down the corridor is the stairs to the living area. There's a recreation room, although we usually spend our free time on the top deck for the view. Word to the wise, when the meal announcement comes over the sound system, get your flank to the eatery fast or else you'll be waiting an hour or so for your food. The ponies nodded knowingly, absorbing in the info as it came. Sparring room, shooting range, storage, and classified. This is where I store all my freaky alien stuff. Yes, I did just say that. I got some weird glances and mumbles from the group, which caused Gilda to laugh. Also, don't go in the freezer unless there is someone outside of it. If it closes, you'll get locked in, and that's no good. Just in case any of you are here to work in the kitchen. I noticed Aoi was glaring at me, probably about dropping the alien bomb. I'd like a word with you when this is over. Yeah, sure. What do you mean, alien stuff? One of the ponies asked. Not sure which one. They were all bunched up. Aoi interrupts him. If it's classified, I think it's best not to ask questions. He winks at me. Not knowing may be better for your health. I bring him to the side for a moment and huddle. Aoi, the way I figure, they're gonna find out eventually. Besides, if they can't handle seeing that, then they've got no place on the ship. There's a lot of things more unnerving than an extra equestrian. Better not be anything dangerous, though. Wouldn't want your crew incapacitated before you even set out. I sigh and pinch the spot between my eyes. It won't be dangerous, just a quick look at what certain people really are. Besides, the princesses know, the element bearers know, Lyra knows, the whole crew knows, and eventually all of Equestria will. The sooner they find out, the sooner they can get used to the idea. I'd rather that than they go crazy with conspiracy theories. Alright, the tour's done. Everyone back up on deck. I'll meet you up there. Just need to have a private chat for a sec, and then I have something to show you. My companion raises an eyebrow in question. You mean... Yep, let's get it out of the way. Although, if you don't want to, that's your choice. He seemed to think for a moment before his eyes brightened. Why not? Once we were back on the deck, I stood next to Aoi on a raised platform. Alright, everyone. So, you're no doubt wondering what I mean by alien stuff. Well, truth is, I'm not exactly from around here. Gasps rang out as they understood what I was implying. Wow, they get shocked by everything. Last chance to back out, Aoi. Just don't be shocked when you see me. Man, I was sent to Equestria, killed dragons, and nearly got eaten by a giant spider. You think you're going to be a shock to me? You should be worried about them. Don't say I didn't warn you. I remove my amulet and hold it in front of me. Forma versus. Oh crap, I forgot to take off my armor! As my form changed into that of a human, my armor did not. The good news is that it didn't strangle me. The bad news is it was far too large and heavy for me to wear on my weaker body, and I promptly fell over. At least I didn't get crushed by it. Ow! Little help here! Gasps from the crowd again, as well as a small bit of laughter at my plight as someone, who I presume to be Aoi, leans down and helps me take off my armor over my head. I stand and brush myself off, and then turn around. Hey, Whoa! You weren't kidding! I take a good look at him. He's slightly taller than me, and I'm 6'3", and even though his clothing is far too big, it still looks stylish on him. He's got black hair and rippling muscle, and his eyes are red from having blood vessels rupture. Typical anime character. Oh, damn it all! So, you are the infamous Griffin. No older than 20, he asked stoically. And you're Aoi. Okay, interesting little fact. In Equestria, humans look like anime characters. And why the hell are you hot? I then proceeded to grumble about my life not being fair, how everyone looked better than me, and stuff like that. My thoughts were interrupted as Nadine came over between the two of us and started purring as she rubbed herself all over us. Ah, jeez. I rolled my eyes as the very attractive kitty rubbed her head against the two of us. Aoi backed away, causing his oversized clothes to fall off, revealing his scars. My eye began to twitch. You even have more scars than I do? Come on! I was a bit upset at how much more of a badass Aoi was than me, while the crowd looked like they were about to vomit from the look of the damages on him. Oh my, I better get you to the infirmary to inspect those wounds. The orange-furred version of Pinkie Pie said with just a hint of lust in her voice. This made the poor human she was going over recoil. They were about the same height, and I hate to say it, but he was attractive. Like, really. Okay, so maybe I am jealous. Shut up! So, they're still here. He ran his fingers over the deep gashes on his body. Yes, they are. Look, I pulled off my shirt as well. My scars weren't nearly as deep or numerous, but still present. A couple mares fainted on deck. We got new bodies when we came, but the old ones stayed the same. Sorry to disappoint, but these scars won't be going away. Nadine pounded at his comment. She also began looking at my wounds as well. I don't think I actually ever showed her my human form with my shirt off. I like them. It makes you look dangerous, she purred again. I think I know where this is going. Aoi looks at himself for a while and then turns to me with his piercing gaze set on me. Speaks in a voice that demands being heard. Change me back. And we're done here. Reverti. Feathers sprang up and wings sprouted. Mouth turned to beak and hands turned to talons. Aoi went through a similar transformation, only with fur and paws. I was glad to return to my equestrian form, and from the look on Aoi's face, so was he. I slipped my amulet back on, and Nadine gave us another pout. Spoil sport, she said with a huff, and then went back to the infirmary to check on the seasick dog. He gets dressed again, and I pick up my armor to sling it across my back. Are we finally done with the tour? He asked in an irritated tone. He's clearly done for the day. Well, I'm gonna go store this, and you should all go pick a room because you'll be staying in it. Aoi, come with me. There's a separate living area, and I'm sure you'd like the privacy. You came to Equestria a while ago, am I right? Aoi asked as we walked. Yes. It was only about a half a month since I've arrived here. Really? That's it? I've been here over a year. The point is, like you, I never knew exactly what would happen. Honestly, I planned on starting a new life here. A sense of adventure, wanderlust you might call it. Anything to find a new purpose in life. Gangs bribed the cops in order to hunt me down the day after I got my revenge. Getting sent here was the easiest option available. I took it without a second thought, so now I'm here. I sigh. Yeah, who would have thought that me, wimpy, nerdy, loser Griffin, would be doing this? I'm actually the second human to come here, though. At least I'm pretty sure. The first was brought over by Discord, which I'm guessing opened a little hole between the universes that various non-specific deities and spirits can use to throw their own pawns on board. I'm still trying to figure out why, though. If what you're saying is true, we're some experiment. What purpose? I don't know. And I don't care. As for me, I just wanted an out. I was so sick and tired of all the pain, all the misery and strife. No matter where I went, I was despised. Most often, for no reason at all. People would go out of their way to find something to hate about me, just so they could take out their frustrations. I wanted to leave so bad. Leave it all behind. I found myself wishing I could come here, a place of peace and harmony. A place where I wouldn't be just blindly hated by everyone. When that guy showed up, I thought it was too good to be true. When I found out it was real, well, happiest day of my life. Then I find out that it isn't all it's cracked up to be and decided to change that. And here I am. If it's an experiment, well, then I'll happily play their lab rat. And so we find ourselves in this land, not much different from our own. Tell me, did Celestia call you a hero at one point? Probably. If it was to my face, I don't remember, but most definitely behind my back. For great service to Equestria and the protection of the innocent. Something like that. Figures. He sighs again. Apparently, now I'm seen as one. Word's spreading around. The lunar legend's back. I don't think the others want the legend to come back. They don't get a say in the matter so long as the cursed bird is around. What will the history books say about the Hound's greatest hero and enemy actually being friends? These are interesting times, but who knows what will... Oh, look, the princess sent us a letter. So, what's it say? I cleared out my throat as I unraveled the scroll. Dear Griffin, you are the third most infuriatingly difficult being I have ever encountered, beaten only by a certain cow with a knack for riddles and Discord himself. Just when I think I have you figured out, you surprise me yet again. I am not amused. And Aoi as well? I had thought better of him. Do you know the embarrassment you caused with your little vanishing act? You have no respect for authority whatsoever, although I suppose I should have expected that from you. Be forewarned, I will be keeping a very close eye on you in the future. Sincerely, Princess Celestia. P.S. I still win. Check the newspaper tomorrow. I think you'll be surprised. You have much to learn, little troll, before you can take on a master. Well, maybe next time she'll tell me what she's planning instead of keeping it a secret. If she's going to treat me like a child, then I might as well act like one. Although, I am worried about what the check the paper tomorrow thing. Out of all people, I would have expected her to understand. I guess not. The only useful information that came out of that is that she'll be watching us closely. Yeah, that just screams spy. I wouldn't have been too hard for her to plant one amongst the recruits. Spy on board never bodes well. I guess that's just one more thing to screen for. He sighs again. Is he extremely tired or something? I'm tired of having wasted titles piled on me. Same. You know what? Let her spy. Show her I have nothing to hide. I mean, I stripped down to my human form, right in front of her, making myself helpless. Yet she still doesn't trust me, and then she expects me to trust her fully and just go along with what she says? If she's not going to trust me, then I'm not going to trust her. Let her spy, I don't even care. But there's going to be a lot of shenanigans on my part when we meet. Have fun with that. Hey, Griffin? Yeah? How many scars do you have? 12 and 3 burns. Some of them have faded and aren't actually visible unless you look closely. And a couple were from surgery to fix broken ribs. One, though, there's one that I hate above all else. It's an incision that was made to remove a kidney. I donated it, and it went to a guy who used his new chance at life to make mine a living hell. No good deed goes unpunished, just like no failure unnoticed. I turn to look at the wolf, and he gives me a creepy grin. 139 scars. Permanent, you've seen them yourself. 14 accounts of broken ribs, 52 of broken legs and arms, and 2 cases of near-fatal concussions, coupled with 11 bullet wounds and 31% of my body burned at one point. Yeah. Do you hate your human body as much as I hate mine, even though Nadine seems to like them? I don't hate my body as I do my scars, as well as remembering each and every time I got them. Completely contrary to modern media, samurai aren't invincible, with honor fueling our power. After all, samurai are still just human. We get cut, we get shot, we get hurt, we die, sometimes violently, and not in an honorable sword fight. As for what fuels me, that's debatable. Oh, well, I happen to hate being human. So weak and so pitiful. Sure, I was pretty nimble and stealthy, but compared to the benefits of being a griffin, well, I only use my other body for shock and awe stuff like what I did back there. I reasoned it'd probably be better at stealth stuff too, but I haven't had the chance to try. Oh, and dubstep. You've got ears like a diamond dog. Avoid nightclubs unless you feel like spilling your guts on the floor like with Octavia. Better warn him about that now. Do not want that biting him in the behind. Noted. Well, I hope you figure it out. I've got some interviews to do, and I hope I can get through them before nightfall. See you at dinner. See you. And hey, maybe I can teach you how to not get hurt so much. The only good thing that comes out of scars are to remind you how to avoid them next time. I'd like that. After all, it's going to be a fairly long trip. Might as well learn a thing or two. Going to get trained by a badass ninja samurai. Must not make Karate Kid reference. This is gonna be awesome.